hearts. We twist, we turn, we crawl, we climb the walls. And in the space between the stars, we take it one small step too far. Strange things happen in the dark. Strange things happen in the dark. We taste new lovers in the dark.
July 1970. I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to tackle a particular subject you always hear me mention: the devil. Whenever the devil's card pops up in a reading, I try so desperately to explain what he is and what he does and his purpose. You'll even hear me say that the devil gets a bad rap. Why? Because he's just doing his job. Another thing is I try to explain how the devil can manifest in a person's life. And many times I don't do a good job at it. So in this video, if you're willing to ride the wave with me, we're going to go in depth about the devil's playground. Let's begin. Well, let's begin. Now, the title of this video, I believe, will be The Devil's Playground. And again, we're talking about this being or this energy. I have another video out, and I believe it's called Life Cycles. I have another video out called, what is it called? Devil Lived. I got them back to back like the Illuminati kind of way the words reflect upon each other. Devil Lived. Maybe you can check those two different videos out, and that adds another dimension to where I'm going in this particular video entitled The Devil's Playground. Now, what I always attempt to do whenever this particular card emerges in a reading is to describe how the devil can influence a person. It's a very difficult task, especially in a general reading, because in a general reading, I'm speaking to a vast amount of people. It doesn't matter which sign, it's still a vast amount of people. And so we all have different strengths and weaknesses, different variations. We all have different life experiences. And so the devil has the potential to play differently for everyone. And he can also play in different areas of your life simultaneously. He can play so hard in one area of your life it affects everything else. But in this video, I'm going to kind of describe, that's my goal, is to describe exactly what the devil's playground is. So whenever you see him come up in a tarot reading, whether I'm doing it or another tarot reader is performing the reading, you understand his energy, his power, his purpose. Now, I was led to do this video, finally. It's like this final puzzle piece came in. I wanted to do the video. I didn't know exactly where to start, but then this puzzle piece came in. Let me tell you about this puzzle piece. An associate of mine comes and says, "Hey, Nancy, check this out, check this out." And so I checked it out. And now I'm about to share it with you. This piece of the puzzle is a poem. I tried to search out the source where it originated from and had difficulty, but I did come up with this. So this is a citation that I cannot guarantee. However, this is the only thing I could find related to this poem. What I found is that this poem that I'm about to read to you was sent in from a member of Alcoholics Anonymous to the columnist Ann Landers years ago. So let me begin to read this poem. and it's entitled A Lot of Reasons Why I Don't Drink. Okay. A lot of reasons why I don't drink. I drank for happiness and became unhappy. I drink for joy and became miserable. I drink to be outgoing and became self-centered. I drink for sociability and became argumentative and lonely. I drank for sophistication and became crude and obnoxious. I drank for friendship and made enemies. I drank to soften the sorrow and swallowed in self-pity. I drank for sleep and awkward without rest. Oh, of course, I messed it up in the middle. I'll start that line again. I drank for sleep and awakened without rest. I drank for strength and felt and became weak. I drank to enhance my sexuality and it made me repulsive. I drank medically and got sick. I drank because my job called for it and I lost my job. I drank for relaxation and got the shakes. I drank for courage and became afraid. I drank for confidence and became filled with doubt. I drank to stimulate thought and blacked out. I drank to make conversation and it tied my tongue. I drank for warmth and lost my cool. I drank to cool and lost my warmth. I drank to feel heavenly and came to know hell. I drank to forget and became haunted. I drank for freedom and became a slave. I drank for power and became powerless. I drank to cope with life and invited death or worse. I drank for just one with the gang, and soon 1,000 drinks weren't enough. I drank because I had the right and everything turned out wrong. Drinking don't work out for me. Today I stay sober, one day at a time. And when my acquaintance associate bought this to me and I read, I was like, wow, that's real powerful, real power punch. And this explains how the devil plays. You enter into any human activity for something positive. We're by nature, we don't want to self-destruct. We just want to have a fulfilling, happy, life. At the end, you want to look back and say, oh, I enjoy life. But some of those very things we partake in, some of those activities we indulge in, have a dark side that can take control of us. And that's what the devil is. That's what he does. That's his playground. So again, that poem, was like the final puzzle piece to lead me to create this video right here and now. Now, that poem, what I realized is, again, it was from a member of Alcoholics Anonymous many years ago. But when it says I drank, you can replace I drank with any human activity and say, I did this because I wanted this. I wanted this happiness. I wanted this pleasure. I wanted this fulfillment. I wanted this satisfaction. I wanted to be able to look back over life and said, I did it. I fulfilled my bucket list. But what ended up happening, the reality of it, that kind of thing. So I challenge you to rewrite the poem with your own activities and see at the end how the devil may have played in your life at certain times. But as I said, I'm here to address this issue. I want to dive deep and I want to get to an understanding and I want to share it with you what the devil's playground is. So if you're willing to ride the wave with me, I'm about to go a little deeper. Hope you like my red dress. I tried to dress for the occasion. Little devilish. Okay. Well, let's talk about the devil's playground in a little more detail. And there are some words that I came about as I studied the hidden books or the apocryphon. And I found that there are eons, maybe that's where I should start, that influence our experience or creates our experience in this world. It, or they, eon, is how the physical world is developed, how it's managed, including the devil and his works, the devil's playground. So anyway, I'm going to some of these terms that I found, and I'm going to read the definition for them, and I'm going to bring it home in relationship to how the devil plays in our lives. The first time, these are going to be terms you're like, really? I never considered these as living energies. I didn't consider them. So let's begin so you can see what I'm saying. The first term is understanding. Understanding, Nancy? You mean to tell me that's a active energy that can play against me? Yeah, understanding. Well, let's look up the definition. Let me read the definition to you. Understanding. Through Webster Dictionary, not Webster Dictionary, www.dictionary.com. You know, I always go to www.dictionary.com. Papers out, electronics are in. So that's where I get my definitions and synonyms and antonyms from. Who knew? You know now. Anyway, acting silly. Being devilish. But anyway, back to the term understanding. It is defined as mental process of a person who comprehends, comprehension, personal interpretation. Personal interpretation. That means that the term understanding is, now mind you, we're looking at it, it is an active, living energy that has influence in the arena of how the devil gets to play with you. And so that means that understanding is individualized. It's based on the individual. Or the understanding is specific to an individual based on their earthly experiences and influences, including their natural born abilities, educational level, mental health, etc. So keep that in mind. Understanding is a spirit or a living energy that is a part or a what can I call it? It's like the boundaries in which the devil plays. Now, I want to read again, I want to read another definition of understanding. And it's defined as characterized by understanding, prompt by, based on, or demonstrating comprehension, intelligence, discernment, empathy, or the like. So, that's to say, what if a person hasn't been taught empathy or they do not possess that ability naturally? See, the devil can play there. You don't even know what empathy is. You don't even know how to activate it. So the devil can play there. Or a person's basis of comparison of a person's base of comparison, like, is defective. What I'm trying to say is the person is ill educated. The parents didn't teach them because the home may have been dysfunctional, or they came up in a bad school system, or they were under a religious leader that was not a man of God or something like that, and they gave them a lot of false information or incorrect information or incomplete information. And what I'm saying overall is that an individual's understanding is based on all this stuff. And in this world, you never know what you're going to get. Forrest Gump, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And because we all have different experiences, you don't know what an individual has gotten. A lot of us, the individual, don't know what we have gotten. But whatever we have gotten creates our ability to understand. Okay? That's one term. The next term is conception. Conception, Nancy, is a living energy, spirit that has influence. Conception? Yeah. Let me read the definition for conception. There are a few. I'm going to read them all back to back. A notion, idea, concept. Something that is conceived. Origination, beginning. A design, a plan. A sketch of something not actually existing. So, here we go. That means that conception is the total sum of a person. We talking about emotionally, spiritually, physically, earthly experiences, all the stuff we've talked about thus far. That affects the person's mental process. Okay, let's take it a step further. So we're talking about a person's mental process. And so, therefore, conception is a fabricated result of how an individual mentally processes things. Meaning, it varies from person to person. Okay, so now we got understanding and we got conception. Let's go on to a few more terms. Because you're going to understand how the devil plays in our world and in your life, in my life. Oh, you got too much room in your life. The next one is prudence, Nancy. Now you mean to tell me that prudence is a living energy, a spirit that has influence upon us? That's what I'm saying. I'm going to read the definition now. That's okay with you? Okay. And again, there are a few definitions here for prudence, and I'm going to run them back to back. The quality or fact of being prudent or wise in practical affairs, as by providing for the future. Caution with regard to practical matters, discretion. Regard for one's own interest. Provident care in the management of resources, economy, and being frugal. So, let's see. Here's another word I want to add to that before I go into detail, because you're saying prudence. Okay, you mean I'm watching my money, I'm being smart, I'm being wise, I'm being cautious, I'm being frugal. I'm using discretion. I'm trying to watch out for my best interests. You mean this is an area in which the devil can play? That's what it said. Those books of the Apocrypha, that's what it said. And so I'm just looking a little deeper. We're looking a little deeper. But the last term was prudence. And now it's another word that I found directly related to prudence out of that book and in definition. And so here's another field that the devil can play on, and it becomes a loop, is what I noticed. A big loop is the word perfection. Nancy. Now you mean to tell me perfection is a living energy, a spirit that can influence us? Yeah. And let's read the definitions of perfection. The state or quality of being or becoming perfect. The highest degree of proficiency, skill, or excellence, or in some sort of art. A perfect embodiment or example of something. A quality, trait, or feature of the highest degree of excellence. The highest or most nearly perfect degree of a quality or trait. That's pushing yourself. to dot all your I's, cross all your T's, get the job done effectively where you don't have to go back over it. That too is a part of the devil's playground. Prudence, perfection. Again, watching real close, having this discernment over whatever your duties and responsibilities are in life. And he comes to mess around with you there as well. And so how can he mess around with you there? As I mentioned, and when it comes to perfectionism, it becomes a loop you get caught up in. They become obsessive, compulsive in your behaviors. He gets you caught all up. With perfection. Prudence, you can become so frugal that you lack charity, And so again, this is how the devil plays with an individual. On to the next term though. And it's reception. Reception, Nancy, you say? You mean to tell me that reception is a living energy, a spirit that can influence us in a negative manner? Really? Well, I thought reception was like the party you go to after the wedding, that kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. You're invited there, or you're received upon your presence or your entry. Let's read the definition for the word reception. And it says, the act of receiving or state of being received. The manner in which something, such as a guest or in a new idea, is received. So, let's talk about receiving something. Going to something and being received is an area in which the devil can play. And so, let's look at this word reception. We can have some subcategories under reception that are sex, especially for a woman. A woman accepts or receives her male counterpart, and they engage in a sexual ritual that we've heard before. I've heard before that spirits are exchanged. That's a devil's playground. Or just in communications. You can communicate with anyone. Have you ever heard that you have to be careful what you listen to? Because these portals, your ears receive, reception, information. And that information gets down in your subconscious. And remember, we were talking about earlier, it's the whole collective experience of the human that ends up defining their level of understanding, And that's all. These are all areas. And they work intertwined, they interlock. This is going to be the difficulty in explaining this. They all interlock to create the playground which the devil plays on. And so, anyway, you communicate and you exchange information. As you exchange information, you're also receiving. Seeds are being dropped into you, into your mind, into your thoughts, so that they can later be manifested or yield a result over time. And that's called the planting of a seed. And it affects you in one way or another. Next term. Composition. Like, Nancy. Now, I'm going to read these one. Nancy, you mean to tell me that the terms understanding, conception, prudence, reception are all part of the devil's playground? Yeah. And then you want me to believe, Nancy, that composition is another one. Hold on, Nancy, explain yourself. Well, that's what I'm about to do. Let's read the definition to the term composition. It says the act of combining parts or elements to form a whole, the resulting state or product, manner of being composed or structure. Did you hear it? the act of combining parts. And so we're talking about combining all these parts. As we say, this is the difficulty, is that these are interlocked, intertwined. And here's composition saying all that, which creates you, your mind, is a part of the devil's playground. You know, let's see if there are any more definitions for the term composition. Yes, there is. It's also makeup, constitution, and aggregated material formed from two or more substances. And in this case, we're talking about the substance of reception, what people put into you, what they say, or the intimate interactions you have with another that they deposit into you or your spirit. We're talking about, again, your prudence, or your level of perfectionism, of trying to dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and wherever you stand on that, because everybody's different. We have some what you might call slobs in life, and we have others that really move toward perfectionism, and this is what guides them in life. This is what gives them a sense of security and peace in life and grounds them. All these things create your your highest understanding. And so altogether, everything combined is your composition. And that's the devil's playground. Now, to kind of keep this video short, I want to just kind of name other areas or energies, living energies, or spirits that reside within us, in which the devil has the grounds to play. And they are our will, our thoughts, our ideas, our memory, impulse. It also has to do with, guess what? Our five senses: hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Nancy, you mean to tell me that I, the individual, possesses that plug for the devil to plug into me and engage me? It's within me. Yeah, it's within you. I have another video. It's a video series. It's about 3 hours long. And I believe the name of it is The Spiritual Battle, something like that. I'm going to probably put it overhead, so you can check out some of my other videos if you like. But I talk about the five senses, because the five senses, see, are our ability to interface with this physical world. These are input-output devices, like on a computer. And through those devices, like we're just talking about reception. And in order to receive, you have to receive it into something. Either receiving it by your eyes, or through your mouth, through tasting, or is again your eyes seeing, or through your ears hearing. It has to have a way into you so that it can be planted, just like you plant a seed out in the garden. It has to have an avenue to get down inside, so that it can cause an effect in your life, so that it can influence your life. There will be a harvest depending on what you absorb. Anyway, I was talking about other playscapes for the devil, and tools that are used for him to interact with us. And the others are, check this out. Feel free to do your own research. And these are terms that you're going to be like, no, it's no way. But here we go. It is truth. Now, let's talk about truth for a minute. I'm going to run through the rest quick, but let's talk about truth. Because you'll hear me say the the purpose of an air sign, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, is to seek knowledge, truth, and clarity clarity through their associations, through their socialization, through networking. The reason why they need this information is so that they can make their decisions based on the truth, so that they can move forward in life. Now, if this is an arena in which the devil can play, like, my God, why would I want to take that path? And again, it's about your source. Like I gave that raggedy citation earlier about the Alcoholics Anonymous members sending in that poem to Ann Landers. I have no concrete way of knowing that, but that's what I came up with. So is it the truth, or did it come from somewhere else? That kind of thing. It depends if what truth is really truth. Everybody or different people can have different truths, and so that's where the danger lies. We're supposed to seek that one truth, I believe. Anyway, the next thing is goodness. Yes. Goodness? Now, come on now. You pushing the envelope. You pushing it. Goodness, yes. Goodness can be a place. There are people that move to really try to be good from their heart. However, they don't have the fight. And that's a place where the devil can come play with them. Because if you're always trying to be good to people that don't deserve you to be good to them, then those people can try to take you over or manipulate you. So that's the devil coming into play to make you stand up for yourself. Or there can be people that are bad, but they act good. And so that's an arena where the other person might have to learn how to discern. Is this true? Is this real goodness? Again, the devil's playground and how he plays and manipulates in people's lives. I'm going to try to run through them quickly. Envy is another. Wisdom. Again, wisdom kind of goes back to truth. It is, I've had this experience in life and it's taught me. And so I carry this wisdom or this knowledge with me through life so that when I run into a similar situation, I can pull upon that knowledge I have and use it to help me in this current circumstance. And then it becomes wisdom. But was it truth, what you learned back then, that you're using now to help you out? So wisdom is arena as well. Pleasure is another. Peace. I'm not even going to go into it on peace. This video will be so long. I'm trying to keep it short. But yeah, peace too. Inner peace. Again, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Peace can go back into goodness. That you're so good by heart. It is your true intention to be good. And therefore you always want to keep the peace. When at times it's time to stand up and defend yourself. Now, I don't believe in war, but I guess you got to defend yourself somehow. Devil's playground. We see this all over the world now. How the devil is playing in this world, in this realm. And we're going to come back to that in a minute. Anyway, let me run through this list. Divinity, lordship, kingdom. And those three things, I don't want you to think outside this realm, because what I deal with is in this realm. I'm dealing with that which is between the womb and the tomb, and the heights of which a man can go in his physical spacesuits, and the depth in the earth in which he can go, whether it be underwater or in earth. That's the arena I'm working in, especially right now when I'm talking about the devil's playground. Divinity, we're starting to talk about like popes and higher folks like that, lordships. We're talking about kings, queens, and presidents. We're talking about the kingdom. That's me and you, just the old common man or woman. How the devil plays there too. It has to do with your imagination, your desires, or even grief. He plays there. Check this out. 4 more, catch me. The devil plays with hot, cold, wet, dry. And I'm just going to hit on that just a little bit, and then I'm going to let that slide on by. Have you ever been so hot you've been uncomfortable? Have you ever been so cold that your bones rattled and you're uncomfortable. Here in this physical realm, in this physical body, you feel threatened. You don't have the security because you're just that cold. It could just be that ride to work in the morning when you start in your car, you're like, oh my God. What you have is hope because you believe that the heat is going to come on in the car, or when you get to work, it's going to be warm enough. But could you imagine being stuck in that particular environment where it's so hot you can't breathe, or it's so cold your bones can't stop rattling, or you're soaking wet? You know, you go outside, get caught in a rainstorm, be like, my clothes wet, I feel so You run in, you take them off, you might shower off, dry off, put some new clean dry clothes on. You feel okay. But again, what if you're stuck in that environment, in that place? The devil plays. Or a dryness. Have you ever had a cotton mouth? You so dried out, or dried eyes. Oh, you be like, oh my God. But what we do, we go to the pharmacy. We get the what do you call it? A wet eye or dry eye solution. And you sprinkle a couple of drops in your eye. Resolved. But what if you couldn't counteract these things? You know, and that's part of our experience here on the earth, is that we have been figuring out ways to counteract the devil's game. We're playing on the devil's playground, is what I want you to see. And through our life, from womb to the tomb, we're figuring out ways to counteract him. Now, I want to go back to something I spoke of at the beginning of the video, and it was about eons. I just kind of want to read the definition of eons. Of course, my computer didn't highlight what I wanted to read, so it's going to be choppy. But I want you to get the definition, the understanding about what an eon is, because now we're not just talking about words, and we're not talking about words in the concept of which we think we know them. We're looking deeper into the terms to find the answers, and the word eon is it was one of the things I should have mentioned before this. And when I was mentioning all those areas of playground, the last one is form and life. These things help to form life, this physical world. Now we're going to go into the word eons. I know you've heard it. Think about it. When you heard the word eons, what did you think of? Time. But I didn't think of a living energy that can influence me in my existence in this physical world, from the moment I entered through the womb until the moment I leave in the tomb. But let's see what the definition of eons is. And this came from my www.wikipedia.com. Check it out. Anyway, the word eon is originally meant life, vital force, or being, generation, or a period of time, though it tended to be translated as age in the sense of ages. Okay, that's what I kind of thought it meant, was ages, time. But we're going to go on. Again, remember, it's going to be choppy because my computer didn't highlight what I wanted. It says in Homer, I guess Homer is a book or a philosopher. I didn't go as far as to check that out. But it says in Homer, it typically refers to life or lifespan. Now it's about to get real good and get to the point. Although the term eon may be used in reference to a period of 1 billion years, especially in geology, cosmology, or astronomy, its more common usage is for any long, indefinite period. Here we go. Eon can also refer to the 4 eons on the galactic time scale. That's not galactic. This is geologic time scale that make up the Earth's history. Did you hear that? It is the makeup of the earth's history. So as I address the subject of the devil and his influence on our lives, this physical realm, this form we call life, is his playground. And that means that this struggle that we face every moment and every day of our lives has been going on for the history of humanity. That means that this struggle is old as time. So you say, Nancy, how can I win if this battle or this struggle or this game has been going on for the whole lifespan of man, the whole lifespan of humanity? How do I win? Well, what I came up with as I wrote this layout for this video, the Devil's Playground, I realized it has to be a part 2. And it's going to deal with the Emperor card. Until next time, from Can Angels Fly, 1970.
We twist, we turn, we crawl, we climb the walls, and in the space between the stars, we take it one small step too far. Strange things happen in the dark. In the dark.